More than 80% of drivers are damaging their cars every single day without even realizing it. Not through reckless driving, not through obvious abuse, but through small habits, everyday actions that feel harmless. Things people do on autopilot during commutes, errands, and parking lot maneuvers. Over time, these habits quietly shorten the life of automatic transmissions, air conditioning systems, fuel pumps, and engines. And the scariest part is this: just one of these mistakes can turn into a $4,000 or $5,000 repair bill long before you see it coming. Automatic cars are designed for comfort and convenience, but they rely on precision. Fluid pressure, timing, temperature, and smooth engagement all have to work together perfectly. When drivers unknowingly work against these systems, damage builds silently. There's no loud warning, no sudden breakdown, just slow wear happening beneath the surface. Many people assume modern cars are tougher than older ones. In reality, modern vehicles are more sensitive than ever. Tighter tolerances mean less room for error. What used to be forgiven now becomes expensive. One of the most common mistakes happens in driveways and parking lots everywhere. Shifting from reverse to drive without fully stopping. You're backing out. You're in a rush. The car is still rolling slightly when you move the shifter. Feels instant, harmless. But inside the transmission, it's mechanical violence. Gears and clutch packs are still rotating in one direction when they're suddenly forced to reverse. That shock loads internal components in ways they were never designed to handle. Automatic transmissions are engineered for smooth engagement. Fluid pressure gradually applies clutches so parts can synchronize before locking together. When you shift while rolling, that synchronization never happens. Instead, internal parts fight each other. Over time, this causes harsh shifts, hesitation, delayed engagement, and eventually complete failure. 1 second of impatience can shave years off a transmission's life. 1 second of patience can save $4,000. Another mistake that quietly destroys cars involves a button most drivers barely think about: the air conditioning recirculation button. On hot days, many drivers leave fresh air mode on while blasting the AC. That forces the system to constantly cool scorching outside air instead of reusing already cooled cabin air. The compressor works harder, runs longer, and generates excess heat. Fuel economy drops. Wear increases. Over time, this dramatically shortens the life of the AC compressor. But leaving recirculation on all the time causes problems too. In cold or humid conditions, moisture gets trapped inside the cabin. Windows fog up. Defrosting becomes less effective. Visibility drops. The correct approach is simple. Use recirculation in hot weather to cool faster and reduce compressor strain. Switch to fresh air in cold or humid conditions to remove moisture. Your AC system was designed for flexibility. Use it properly, and it will last years longer. Then there's the habit many drivers don't even consider a problem: driving on an almost empty fuel tank. In most modern cars, the fuel pump sits inside the tank and relies on gasoline to stay cool and lubricated. When fuel levels run low, that cooling disappears. The pump runs hotter, wears faster, and becomes far more likely to fail. Low fuel also stirs up sediment from the bottom of the tank, sending debris into the fuel system. That contamination can clog fuel filters, damage injectors, and cause misfires. In colder climates, low fuel levels increase condensation, which can freeze fuel lines and leave you stranded. Keeping the tank above a quarter full isn't just convenient. It protects the fuel pump and improves reliability. And then there are the warning lights. The ones drivers love to ignore. Driving with a check engine light on and pretending it's nothing is one of the fastest ways to turn a small issue into a massive repair. Sometimes it really is minor. Other times, it's a misfire, overheating transmission, or dangerously low oil pressure. These lights aren't suggestions. They're early warnings designed to save you money if you act in time. Another mistake that quietly damages transmissions is skipping the parking brake. Many drivers believe automatics don't need it. That's wrong. When you park without engaging it, the entire weight of the vehicle rests on a tiny metal component inside the transmission called the parking pawl. That part was never designed to hold a 2-ton vehicle, especially on an incline. Over time, it wears, cracks, or fails. Repairing it often requires removing the transmission entirely. Then there's coasting in neutral. Some drivers do this downhill, believing they're saving fuel. In modern cars, the opposite is true. When you lift off the accelerator while staying in gear, fuel injection is nearly cut completely. Zero fuel. Shift into neutral, and the engine must idle, burning fuel the entire time. You lose engine braking, reduce control, increase brake wear, and shock the drivetrain when shifting back into gear. Cold starts bring their own set of problems. Revving a cold engine is one of the fastest ways to shorten its life. When oil is cold, it's thick and slow to circulate. Flooring the throttle before lubrication reaches critical components causes metal-on-metal contact. Pistons, bearings, camshafts, and valve train parts are stressed with minimal protection. Transmission fluid behaves the same way. The right approach is simple. Start the car. Wait about 30 seconds. Drive gently for the first few miles. Let fluids warm and circulate naturally. Cold starts combined with aggressive driving cause damage that adds up quietly over time. Driving downhill without using lower gears is another expensive habit. Many drivers ride the brakes the entire way. Brake pads overheat. Rotors warp. Transmission fluid temperature rises. Lower gears exist for a reason. Engine braking reduces load on the brakes and keeps temperatures under control. Ignoring it leads to repair bills that could have been avoided with a simple shift. Driving through deep water is one of the fastest ways to destroy an automatic transmission. Transmissions have vents that can suck in water when submerged. Once water mixes with transmission fluid, lubrication fails. Clutch materials break down. Slipping begins. Draining the fluid doesn't undo the damage. Many transmissions fail hours or days later, often costing over $4,000 to rebuild. Skipping oil changes is one of the most expensive forms of neglect. Oil breaks down, collects contaminants, and turns into sludge. Engines starve for lubrication. Bearings fail. Camshafts wear smooth. The same applies to transmission fluid. Despite claims of lifetime fluid, no fluid lasts forever. Heat and friction destroy it over time. Heat is the silent killer of automatic transmissions. Sitting in drive at long stoplights creates unnecessary heat inside the torque converter. Shifting into neutral during long stops reduces load and lowers temperatures. Overheating even once can permanently shorten transmission life. Overfilling engine oil is just as dangerous as running low. Too much oil gets whipped into foam. Foamy oil doesn't lubricate properly. Oil pressure becomes unstable. Seals fail. The dipstick is a measurement tool, not a suggestion. Warming up a car incorrectly also causes damage. Long idling doesn't warm transmissions effectively. Gentle driving does. Start the car, wait briefly, and drive calmly. Let fluids circulate naturally. The most overlooked mistake of all is demanding full power from a cold transmission. Cold fluid doesn't protect properly. Flooring the throttle before temperatures rise forces components to work under maximum load with minimal lubrication. That damage doesn't show immediately. It shows years later, when the transmission fails prematurely. Most expensive car repairs aren't caused by bad luck. They're caused by small habits repeated every day. Parking habits, shifting habits, warm-up habits, maintenance neglect. Each one feels harmless. Together, they destroy reliability. Automatic cars are precision machines. Treat them like it. Reduce heat. Keep fluids clean. Give systems time to warm. Small actions save thousands. Ignore them, and the bill is inevitable.